Each Sunday, one of our caring companions is designated to be available in the sanctuary after the service to listen to any immediate pastoral needs and assist you with connecting to additional pastoral support if you would like. Today's caring companion is Jennifer Lowland. Jennifer, could you please stand or wave so that we can thank you and folks can identify you after the service? Is Jennifer here?
She did.
Oh, okay, great.
She was just fast.
On each Sunday, we light candles in the sanctuary and along the windows to mark sacred moments in our lives. Although we do have a time set aside during worship to note these candle lightings, you are invited to light candles at any time during the service when you feel moved to do so. Now let all who have gathered in beloved community, whether in virtual space or in person, join our spirits in worship together. I'm much better at cowbell.
You can bring it. Good morning. Whether you're joining us online or here at the church, welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin. We are a spiritual community dedicated to a free and responsible search for truth, meaning, and beauty. I'm Reverend Chris Jimerson, co-lead minister. I am 6 foot with blondish, brownish hair with distinguished hints of gray, wearing a bright yellow side with love stole. My pronouns are he, him. It is a joy to be with you today. And this morning, I want to invite up Aubrey so we can make a very special welcome to some new members.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I really miss Kinsey. She helped me do stuff like get this in the order of service, which didn't happen today, so sorry if it's a surprise. But new members, if you want to come up and join me up on the stage, we're going to do a reading all together. I just want to say I'm so happy that you are all here. This is a great community. I hope you feel really welcomed. this for y'all. Here, Beth. Okay, so I'm going to start off reading this, and then you guys are going to share one? Okay, great. Okay. What is this church? It is not the building, except to the extent that we have chosen it and made it ours, and adorned it with the fruits of our time, treasure, and talents. It is not the ministers, except to the extent that we ask them to inspire us and work together with us towards our goals. It is not the music, except to the extent that we are lifted by it, and that we make it when we blend our voices together to produce sounds lovelier than any one of us could make alone. It is not even the beliefs. For we Unitarian Universalists have no single unifying belief, only the combined beliefs of each one of us. This church is the people. Without me, without you, this church is nothing. It does not exist. Buildings may fall down, ministers move on, music may go out of tune, and beliefs may falter. No matter. We are this church. Without us, it is nothing, but with us, it can be anything. Reverently, we covenant together to seek and promote a vision of a right relationship, the deepening of character and service in the world. We begin with ourselves as we are, and we come together to support and maintain this free religious community. We welcome you new members with love, support, and encouragement. And I got cake for all of us. So please come to House and Hall afterwards to get to know everybody and enjoy all the snacks with me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Kristen.
I also want to welcome you if you are new to the church, either here in person or online. You are welcome here. Each and every one of you today belong here. We come from a long tradition of sensing that a divine river of love flows through every person, and that in turn, we are its tributaries. And it's in that tradition that I invite you to greet the holy among us this morning, either in the comments online or by turning to those around you.
Good morning again. Good morning. Howdy. More cowbell. I'm Angela Smith, pronouns she, her, and I am honored and privileged to be your lay leader today. I am a 4'11", feisty, first-generation American who can curse in both Italian and English. And I have a feeling I'm going to put that talent to good use tomorrow during the inauguration of He Who Must Not Be Named. Would you join me now in the lighting to the words, the lighting to the words to the chalice lighting? This is the flame we hold in our hearts as we strive for justice for everyone. This is the light we shine upon systems of oppression until they are no more. This is the warmth we share with one another as our struggle becomes our salvation. Our call to worship is a reading from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from his Nobel Prize acceptance address, and the words are especially appropriate for these times. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumphant. For our opening hymn, please rise either in body or spirit and let us sing together number 131 from the Gray Hymnal, Love Will Guide Us.
One of the things that binds us together here at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin is that we have a common religious purpose. And for this church, that purpose is our mission. We put it on our wall, and every Sunday the folks gathered here say it together so that we might readily carry it in our hearts throughout the rest of the week. Let's do so now. Together, we nourish souls, transform lives, and do justice to build the beloved community.
You were lost and got lucky, came upon the shore, found you were conquering America. You spoke of peace, but waged a war while you were conquering America. take and people to kill. While you were conquering America, you served yourself, did God's will. While you were conquering America. The ghost of Columbus haunts this world, 'cause you're still conquering America. The meek won't survive or inherit the earth, 'cause you're still conquering America. America, America, America. You found bodies to serve, submit and degrade. While you were conquering America, made us soldiers and junkies, prisoners and slaves. While you were conquering America. America, America, America. Your hands are at my throat, my back's against the wall, because you're still conquering America. We're sick and tired, hungry and poor, because you're still conquering America. You bomb the very ground that feeds your own babies. You're still conquering America. Your sons and your daughters may never sing your praise, while you're still conquering America. America, America, America. I see your eyes seek a distant shore, while you're still conquering America. Taking rockets to the moon, trying to find a new world, 'cause you're still conquering America. America, America, America. The ghost of Columbus haunts this world, 'cause you're still conquering America. You're still conquering America. You're still conquering America. America, America, America.
Hello, all. It is time for the story for all ages. So, absolutely anyone who would like to, please come join me on stage. We've got a very pretty story today. This one is a little bit more picture than word, so we are just going to take our time. Look at all the pretty pictures. Hello, hello, everybody. Who do we have today? Hi. Hello. Okay. So this book is called A Little Piece by Barbara Curley. Let's see what we've got. All it takes is one hand, one smile, a single voice. To give a wave. Say hello, and spread a little peace. At the market, down the street, and on a crowded bus, or a sandy beach. looks fun. I wish I was that athletic. During worship or prayer, meditation, during study or play, celebration, joining neighbors, making friends, from home to home and shore to shore. Share your smile, lend a hand, spread a little peace. There we go. That is our story for today. We are going to go spread a little bit of peace amongst ourselves down in the last two classrooms because it's very cold today. So, if you would like to join me for an activity, let's head on down.
The time during the service when we commit to the mission and ministries of our church by making an offering. We give out of our own so that together we might build a better world. If you're visiting with us today, please allow the plate to pass you by. You are our guest. You can give in a few different ways by going to austinuu.org and clicking on the link at the top right side of the page, or by texting your contribution to 84321, or by placing an offering in the basket the ushers are about to pass. The ushers will now collect our offering in the sanctuary. All blessings on your gifts and all blessings on you as givers. Our reading today is from Where Do We Go From Here? Another speech by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I say to you, I have also decided to stick with love, for I know that love is ultimately the only answer to humankind's problems. And I'm going to talk about it everywhere I go. I know it isn't popular to talk about in some circles today, and I'm not talking about emotional bosh when I talk about love. I'm talking about a strong, demanding love, for I've seen too much hate. And I say to myself that hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to love. If you are seeking the highest good, I think you can find it through love. And the beautiful thing is that we aren't moving wrong when we do it. Because John was right. God is love. He who hates does not know God, but he who loves has the key that unlocks the door to the meaning of ultimate reality.
This is the time in our service when we center ourselves together. We breathe together. We breathe together, and in doing so, we feel one another's loving presence, even across virtual space. Breathing in, breathing out, we follow our breath to a deeper place inside, a place of greater wisdom, a place where a river of divine love flows through each of us and unlocks the door to the meaning of ultimate reality. Breathing together, we enter into a time of sacred silence together, remembering that we also hold sacred human sounds, including, perhaps especially, those of small children. Breathing in, breathing out, we enter into that sacred silence together. I invite you now to light candles if you're so moved, candles representing sorrow, joy, hope, remembrance, resilience, whatever is on your heart at this time. As we light candles, please hold in your heart the family and all of us who love Georgia Corin, whose service we held yesterday here at the church. Let us also hold in great love all who have suffered such great losses in the Los Angeles area fires. Let us also pray for a lasting peace and an end to the atrocities in Gaza. Now we light candles in our windows as we hold our meditative spirit, and when our music comes to a close, we hold the meditative quiet.
I went up to the mountain because you asked me to. Up over the clouds to where the sky was blue. I could see all around me, everywhere. I could see all around me, everywhere. Sometimes I feel like I never been nothing but tired, and I'll be walking till the day I expire. Sometimes I lay down, no more can I do. But then I go on again, because you asked me to. Some days I look down, afraid I will fall. And though the sun shines, I see nothing at all. Then I hear your sweet voice, oh, 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 come and then go, come and then go, telling me softly you love me so. The peaceful valley just over the mountain, the peaceful valley few come to know. I may never get there ever in this lifetime, but sooner or later it's there I will go. Sooner or later it's there I will go.
We light one last candle for all those for whom there is no one to light a candle.
At this time, I have the honor to present to you the moral leader of our nation. I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
That was footage from the 1963 March on Washington. The marchers were singing a spiritual which has become iconic. We shall overcome, sung throughout the world for years since by human rights movements of many kinds. The march culminated with Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s now also more than iconic speech, "I have a dream." He called it a speech. I have to tell you that if I ever give a sermon that magnificent, I think I'll just retire while ahead right then. Tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day. It is also the inauguration to a second term of office for a man and an ideology so hostile to and threatening toward Dr. King's dream of beloved community that it has many of us holding our heads like this for fear that the dissonance will otherwise cause them to explode. Go ahead, try it. I find it helps. I know a lot of you are afraid because you've told me that. I am too. Afraid for our democracy and whether it will withstand the coming assault. Afraid for the people we love who are being targeted by the onslaught. Some of us are afraid because we're among those who have already been singled out for the assault. We don't know what will happen starting tomorrow. We do know that the incoming president, his supporters, and proposed administration are promising what they themselves call a shock and awe campaign. A campaign designed to keep us frightened and feeling powerless. So today I want to talk a bit about how we might soothe our fears, claim our power, and resist, even turn the assault against the very ideology of separation, division, and scapegoating from which it springs. And that power, our power, is contained in the very words that Dr. King himself spoke. Unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. A strong, demanding love, the key that unlocks the door to the meaning of ultimate reality. As Unitarian Universalists, we have recently centered our faith in that strong, demanding love, perhaps starting to catch up with Dr. King after all these years. 10 years ago, in 2015, I stood in this pulpit on the Sunday before Martin Luther King Day and told the story of how in March 1965, over 500 Unitarian Universalist lay people and 250 of our ministers responded to a call from Dr. King nationally for people of faith to join him in a march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. The call was in response to what is now sometimes called Bloody Sunday, when law enforcement in Selma had brutally attacked peaceful protesters with billy clubs and tear gas. I want to share with you a couple of those Unitarian Universalist folk stories today, because it's been long enough that many of you may not have heard them, and because I believe that they can inform us of the challenges or about the challenges we face ahead of us. Reverend Dr. James Reeb was among the first of our ministers to arrive in Selma. His first evening there, Reeb and two other white Unitarian Universalist ministers dined at an African-American restaurant called Walker's Cafe because they had been told they wouldn't be safe at a whites-only restaurant. But as they left Walker's Cafe, They were attacked by a group of 4 or 5 white locals, at least one of whom was carrying a large club of some kind. He struck James Reeb on the head with it, knocking him to the ground. They beat and kicked the other 2 ministers to the ground also. Soon afterward, James Reeb fell into an unconscious state from which he never awoke. 2 days later, Marie Reeb, his wife, made the painful and difficult decision to turn off the artificial support that was the only thing that was keeping his body alive. Reeb became a national martyr. He was even paid homage to by then President Lyndon B. Johnson. And his murder galvanized white Americans, and particularly Unitarian Universalists, to join the effort in Selma even more. One such Unitarian Universalist who joined the effort and who also did not come back from Selma alive was Viola Liuzzo. But she wasn't lionized in the way that James Reeb was. For many years, her story was rarely, if ever, told because A, she was a woman, and B, she was a woman and not a minister. At a time, not a minister because A, she was a woman. Viola Liuzzo was a member of First Unitarian Universalist Church of Detroit and worked for the NAACP. She was married, had 5 children. She answered the call to Selma by getting in her car and driving there despite the objections of her family. She helped out by giving marchers a ride back to Selma from Montgomery after the march. On one of her return trips, a car full of KKK men pulled up beside her and fired shots directly at her, hitting her twice in the head, killing her instantly. Her car careened into a ditch and came to a stop when it struck a fence. After her death, one of her sons described his father's dark hair turning gray overnight. Her family endured crosses being burnt in their front yard. Her children were beat up at school. They were told their mother deserved what she got because as a white woman, she had no business being there in the first place. I tell you these stories because I believe that like Viola Liuzzo and James Reeb were in their time, we are being called to live our faith even if the costs may be high. And if they could show up despite the environment and risk of their times, despite paying the ultimate price for it, we can answer that call in our times. We are being called by a divine, strong, and demanding river of love that moves us to offer shelter, support, and safe haven to those most targeted by the coming assault against human rights and dignity. Called to speak love and justice to a state government that threatens to defile the very concept of beloved community. Called by a strong, demanding river of divine love to resist, revolt against, and ultimately repel the ideology of hate and division that has captured our federal government. Called back to love and justice over and over again until the end, we shall indeed overcome. Back in 2015, I joined some Unitarian Universalists and other folks from across the country in Selma for the 50th anniversary commemoration of those events back in 1965. At one point while we were there, they gathered us in a large fellowship hall and we sang, "We shall overcome together." And there was so much love and hope and solidarity generated through singing that together that I don't think a single one of us left that fellowship hall afterwards with eyes that were dry. Now, there are several different stories of the origins of that song, but ultimately they all conclude with, what a gift the African American community has given the world through it. Or better yet, perhaps alone with a promissory note that we will join in solidarity to overcome racism and bigotry wherever we find it. Let us remember that when we sing it together today, later in our service. And speaking of together, we can, in the days to come, further develop and talk about the specifics of our social justice efforts as we face this daunting challenge. For now, though, before we can answer that call from love in the public square, we are going to need one another right here in the days to come. We will need to build the beloved community within these church walls more than ever before so that we can then bring even more of it into our world, join in solidarity with others, and follow the lead of those most affected by that ideology of division so counter to Dr. King's dream of beloved community. And that means being careful that we don't turn our fears and anxieties toward one another through unnecessary fighting or unkind words and deeds. It means loving each other through this, being even more attentive to offering words and acts of caring, kindness, and support to one another. Please include your church staff and ministers in all of the above. And it means getting more creative than ever about finding new ways to offer love, support, and a shelter of as much safety as possible for beloveds who are being targeted. My beautiful people, do not despair. I love you. We will get through this together, and with the many others with whom we'll join in solidarity to answer that call from such a strong and demanding love. When we think back to all that has changed since Viola Luiso and James Reeb answered that call and met their fate all those years ago, we must know that the arc of the universe we are trying to bend toward justice has never really been a smooth and perfect arc. At best, it is a jagged and only slowly climbing line. And we dream of drawing the arc that goes through the center of it. My beloveds, we can keep that dream alive. Hold on to it. Hold on to it together in the ways of love tomorrow and in the days to follow. I will be with you, answering that call from a strong, demanding love that Dr. King said is God. I want to close by offering you some of Dr. King's word about that dream of his all those years ago, spoken by Dr. King himself. A bit of it is laced with the male-centeredness of his time, so let us remember the arc we are upon has that jagged trajectory. I offer his voice with his text overlaid so that you can both hear and see their great beauty at the same time. I offer his dreams and his words as the last word today.
Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friend, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope.
I needed those words today. And thank you, Chris, for giving the best MLK sermons ever. I still remember that sermon you gave 10 years ago. In fact, I told you I was prepared to be bored, but you blew me away. And once again, you blew me away. Please rise either in body or spirit and let us sing together number 169 from the Gray Hymnal, "We Shall Overcome." And to make sure we get the message of the first verse, we're going to sing it 3 times through. Please join me now in the words for the extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we hold in our hearts until we are together again.
As we go back out into our world today, I leave you with the wisdom once again of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. And justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. May the congregation say amen, amen. And blessed be. Go in peace.